I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get set to bring you race number 11 of the inaugural season of the NNSCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series. Here, continuing on our Midwest tour this weekend with the Cup drivers over in Iowa. The Lites drivers are here at the Mile and a Half Kansas Speedway. David Dixon, last week at Dover, becoming the second multiple-time winner on the season, next to Benny Watson. Those two are actually going to share the second row here tonight, but it's going to be Jack Mitchell who's going to line up on the pole position. Jack Mitchell, of course, a former pole sitter this season in the Cup Series back at Darlington, but Mitchell is going to be rolling off from the pole today. He is 14th in overall points, 54 points out of the points lead. Still mathematically has a shot with the number of races we have left here in the season, and would like to join the list of drivers, 8 in total, that have previously taken a checkered flag here in the Lite Series. Alongside of him is going to be John Lightning Jr. John Lightning Jr., he's been there, but he's not exactly been up at the front the last couple of weeks. We were talking about him back at the start of the second half of the regular season after the All-Star break, about him being up there in that conversation along with Benny Watson and Eric Monaco for the overall points lead. He's been slowly losing ground to the points leaders, but he still sits there 4th in points, 27 points out. So a good run here today could put him right back into that conversation. That battle for the points lead continues as Benny Watson now holds the points lead over Eric Monaco by 4 points after Watson had a decent outing last week at Dover, and Monaco actually lost a couple of spots late. Those two going to continue on that rivalry at the top of the point standings in this one here today. 54 laps of racing awaiting these drivers, and we're getting ready to find out just what kind of a race we are in for here for these Lites drivers as we go down trackside and get those most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Get a rhythm. Get ready to rock and roll today. It's a long race. There will be a lot of pit stops. So just go out there, do what you got to do. No mistakes. That's the big thing today. Just no mistakes.
Right side of your screen, your 21 car starting lineup for this afternoon's festivities. Benny Watson, 4 points over Eric Monaco, as already documented. For that points lead, Cole Koivu sits third. He's 26 points back. John Lightning Jr. fourth, 27 back. And Kyle Langland jumped up into the top 5 in points with a great run last week. He is 5th in overall standings, 31 points out of the top position. After his victory last week, 2nd on the year, David Dixon jumped up 5 spots in the standings to 8th in overall points, 35 points out. He and Benny Watson, we'll see if those two are going to maybe try and see who'll be the first 3-time winner on the season. And we have to remember too, these drivers are racing for 2 specific goals. Number 1, they're racing to win the championship. It's the classic system where at the end of the season, whoever accumulates the most points ends up winning the championship. There's no playoffs for these Lites drivers, but also whoever ends up winning the championship, they get a guaranteed ride, a guaranteed chartered ride next year. Season 8 of Duracell Cup Series competition, kind of like what Will Goss was able to do with the showcase races last year. But the green flag is out and we're underway here at Kansas 54 laps of racing, and you heard it there over the scanner. There will potentially be a pit stop these drivers will have to make, as David Dixon, wasting no time after taking that second checker flag last week. He had thoughts about taking the race lead right there through 1 and 2. Mitchell going to get a better entry into turn 3 here. Had a better exit off of turn 2, was able to keep the DHL Toyota at bay for the moment. And Jack Mitchell will, by about, well, less than half a car length, will be leading them here to complete the first lap of this afternoon. David Dixon putting the pressure on, though. Dixon with a dominating performance last week, coast-to-coast pole to win at Dover, following up his fuel strategy win for his first career victory at Mid-Ohio. And Dixon is going to fly on by Jack Mitchell, and he's going to go to the race lead just like that. So David Dixon to the point, second place under contest, Cody Smart in that Carvana Ford Mustang. He'll move on by the McDonald Chevrolet, and he'll pick up P2. John Lightning Jr. now looking for the third position off of turn 2. Mitchell battling back on that top side, and looks like he will hang on to third place for the moment. John Lightning Jr. there, falling into the clutches of the 25 of Samet Ozkan. Then you got our Charlotte winner, Virgil Alonso, right there in 6th. You can definitely see a bit of a momentum track here, with drivers being able to close up on others and lose ground to others, depending on how they're able to either get back to the throttle or lack thereof on corner exit. And it translates to what kind of straightaway speed they have, as Cody Smart was able to have a nice 1 and 2, pulled away from Jack Mitchell up to the bumper of David Dixon. Now he has thoughts for the race lead. Mitchell with a big run there off of turn 4, going to make it a 3-man fight for the top position. Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, nose to tail crossing the start finish line there. Still nose to tail, still close. Maybe a little slip up there by Cody Smart. Who makes the move? Who can make the move here? Does Smart make the move for the lead? Does Mitchell make the move for second place? And now, closing up on them is Virgil Alonso. So a 4-car train up here at the front of the field. As these 4 battle it out. 6th place under contest, our winner from a couple of weeks ago, Benjamin Snyder at Armory Digital Super Speedway, losing a spot to Nathan Fogler. Roberto Crown Jr. there in the 21, former winner on the season, making a move now for what would be 7th place on Snyder, and he will take that spot. Roberto Crown Jr. next week, actually, in the Duracell Cup Series, as the Lights drivers are off. He'll be attempting to qualify for that race. In the number 80 out of Haas Racing, as we have a lead change. Cody Smart makes the pass around David Dixon. He'll be the 3rd different driver out in front here this afternoon. Dixon, oh, he's going to cross him over. Try and get the lead back. Virgil Alonso got by Jack Mitchell for 3rd place. Mitchell back on the attack once again. David Dixon trying to get the side draft there on the left rear of the Carvana Ford, but it's not going to work. Cody Smart will lead that lap, get himself a valuable bonus point. And this side-by-side battling from 1st through 4th has brought Samet Ozkan and maybe Nathan Fogler into this conversation. Well, a driver who started up towards the front started on the outside of row 2. Benny Watson has since dropped back. He's in the latter half of the top 10 in 9th place right now. And Eric Monaco, who I believe started this race from around 9th position, I think. It was 9th or 11th. He has since dropped back outside of the top 10. He's in 14th place. David Dixon back out in front. So far, he has led 6 of the completed 8 laps. Cody Smart and Jack Mitchell have had a turn out in front for 1 lap each. That's Smart in 2nd, and here's the 3rd place battle. Samet Ozkan on the inside, Jack Mitchell on the top. Roberto Crown Jr. now going to help kind of propel the 25 past the 0-1. He thought about going for 4th place himself, but Mitchell was able to get the runoff of 2. So now Roberto Crown Jr. in 5th place, trying to hold off the double wide behind him with Virgil Alonso and Nathan Fogler. There's Benny Watson now making his way back up into the top 10. right now in the 8th position, getting around John Lightning Jr. And there was a lead change right there. Cody Smart got back around David Dixon, did it relatively easy that time. And he'll open up a few car lengths between himself and Dixon for that top spot. Cody Smart coming into this race 20th in the overall points. Only driver he's ahead of in the standings is Skylar Taylor, who has made only 3 starts to Cody Smart's 10. Cody Smart with an average finishing position of 14th this year, which doesn't sound all that terrible if you're talking about a 40-car field, but for the most part this season it's been only a 20-car field. So Cody Smart with only 3 top 10s and no top 5s here in the first 10 races, looking to get this season turned around. There's still time, even for Cody Smart, who finds himself 82 points behind the points lead. There is still mathematically enough time for Cody Smart to get himself back up into the conversation for this championship. And the best way, the best foot forward to accomplish that would be to potentially take a checkered flag here this afternoon at Kansas. Nose to tail, 3 cars there for second place. Dixon, Oskin, and Roberta Crown Jr. And then a ways back to the 5th place battle of Jack Mitchell, Nathan Fogler, and Virgil Alonso. David Dixon, of course, as we mentioned, coming off that momentum with the victory last week at Dover. Samet Ozkan, he was in the conversation for the race victory back at, I believe it was Charlotte. He comes into this one currently in the 15th position in points. And then we're behind them, Roberta Crown Jr. losing touch with 2nd and 3rd place. Of course, a former winner on the season. 10th in overall points is Roberta Crown Jr. 43 points out of the points lead. Well, we're not 100% certain what the fuel window is for these drivers here this afternoon, but it was pretty much the generous consensus that nobody was going to be able to make it 54 laps on what they had in the tank. Now, it'll be interesting to see if this is just a one-stop race, which kind of would make sense. They would have to make it to at least the conclusion of lap 27, maybe a little bit further, because especially with 1.5 and 2 mile racetracks, the longer the run goes on under green flag conditions and the more the field gets spread out, the less likelihood there is for draft to be able to come into play, to be able to save fuel and stretch the window a little further. So the fuel window, potentially with each lap as the field spreads out, shrinks a little bit more. So if they aren't able to get past lap 27, then I would be a little bit concerned that drivers probably would not be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. Again, though, since we don't know the fuel window, it could end up opening up before halfway, and we could see some drivers on pit road come onto pit lane and have enough fuel to get to the end. So with not knowing what the fuel window is, it does make things a little bit more confusing for us up here in the booth, but we'll have to wait and see how it all goes down. Looks like these drivers have, for the most part, kind of settled into their relative positions. Here's a battle with Fogler to the inside of Jack Mitchell, but with that single file that we saw pretty much all the way through the top 12 or so, looked like those drivers are all settling in and getting themselves prepared for that pit stop. The single file helps them be able to save fuel, helps them also be able to save tires. This side-by-side battling is actually taking away the optimal line for both the car on the inside and the car on the outside. They're using up more tires and subsequently using up more fuel with trying to out-throttle each other on corner exit. But Fogler does complete that pass on Jack Mitchell, moving him up to 6th. Correction, that was actually putting him up to 5th. Virgil Alonso tried to make the pass there on Ben Watson for 7th and unable to do so. Cody Smart has pulled away. Scoring's got him about 3.5 tenths of a second ahead of David Dixon. Samet Ozkan keeps trying to show the nose there in the 3rd spot. Roberta Crown Jr. in 4th position. Interesting point of note, looking at the drivers' lap times, I think that we've been talking a lot about in the Lights and Cup Series these past couple of months has been the undercut strategy. We've had a lot of races with long green flag runs And drivers have been able to utilize coming to pit road, getting those fresh tires, and putting down that really good outlap to gain track position on several occasions to be able to get the race lead. Well, looking right now at the lap times of the driver out in front, Cody Smart, his fastest lap was a 29.8. That last time by, he ran a 30.7. We're nearly looking at a full second of fall off for him. You look at David Dixon, who's had some draft right there that lap from Cody Smart. He's even 0.8 of a second off of his fastest lap. So we're looking at about 7 to 9 of a second fall off at this point in time, a little over 20 laps into this race. So that is nearly a second lap time you could make up if you come to pit road a lap sooner than your competition and are able to get that really good outlap. Cody Smart continues to show the way. We're nearing the halfway point. Smart has so far led a total of 12 laps here this afternoon. Can he lead the most important final lap at the end of the day? We'll find out in a moment as we're going to take a quick commercial break and then be back here to the action from Kansas Speedway. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast. Cody Smart crosses the line, puts lap 25 on the board, a couple laps away from halfway this afternoon at the Kansas Speedway. Smart leading David Dixon, Roberto Crown Jr., Samit Ozkan, and Nathan Fogler, your current top 5. David Dixon, during that commercial break, did manage to get up alongside of Cody Smart to battle for the lead, was not able to complete the pass, and has since now fallen off nearly 0.7 of a second as we are getting ourselves prepared for potential green flag pit stops. So like Fogler may have picked up a spot right there, getting 4th place from the 25 of Samit Ozkan. We've been green since the start of this race. Cody Smart has led 16 laps so far today, 8 laps led by David Dixon, and Jack Mitchell, our pole sitter, the only other driver that has been out in front. He led the first lap of this race, has since dropped back to the 7th position. Some big name drivers I was noticing towards the rear of the field that are up there in the point standings not having the performance they were looking for today. Eric Monaco is one of the ones that jumps out to me first and foremost, coming in second in the points to Benny Watson. He's back in 16th position. Cole Koibe, who's 3rd in points, is back in 18th. Stephen Burnside, who comes into this one 6th in overall points, is back in the well, I think actually he moved up some spots because I think we had some pitters. He was back around 18th position, though, and John Lightning Jr. was around 19th, as here comes Cody Smart to pit road. So, yeah, there were some drivers that came to pit lane under that last lap. Looks like Skylar Taylor, Austin Reed, Nathan Stapleton were on pit lane. And I think we've got some others that might have come to pit road previously as well. So we'll wait for all this to cycle out. Interesting, though, it looks like most of our top 5 all elected to come to pit lane on the same lap. I think Roberto Crown Jr. might have been the one driver in the top 5 that elected to come to pit road the lap prior to those others in the top 5, so we'll see where he cycles around to. There he is, now getting up to speed over into turn 3. Remember, as we talked about before we took that race break there, there's about a second to be gained on fresh tires, and let's see, he's going to get past Samit Ozkan, past Nathan Fogler. Can he get Dixon and Smart? There's Smart. And I don't see the 45 of Dixon. I'm not sure where he's cycling around to, but it looks like Roberto Crown Jr. is going to at least cycle around to 2nd place. And now he'll try and put the challenge on Cody Smart, who should cycle back to the front of the field. That pit stop taking place right at the halfway point as well, so more than likely these drivers can make it on fuel, provided they got the 2 tanks, the 2 cans of fuel into these race cars. They should be good to go. And again, as I said, though, the fuel window could shrink a bit here with the field spread out after the green flag pit stop cycle, so we'll see if there will be some drivers at the last moment coming to pit lane in the closing stage of this one, as here comes Roberto Crown Jr. The strategy worked and gained him track position. All of a sudden, instead of battling for the third position, he's up here taking the race lead. Roberto Crown Jr. trying to join David Dixon and Benny Watson as a multi-time winner on the season. He'd be the first Chevrolet driver to do so, as Dixon and Watson both out of the Toyota camp. But Cody Smart's not going to go away quietly. He crosses over the Beyblade Chevrolet here on the front straightaway. Can he make the pass here through 1 and 2? Looks like he's going to be able to. That could be the difference of the one-lap fresher tires there for Cody Smart. A little bit more maneuverability here. We'll see if Roberto Crown Jr. is able to battle back. Nathan Fogler has moved up into the third position after these pit stop cycles. He's currently about 2.5 seconds behind the top two. Might have gained a little bit there with them racing side by side. We'll have to check on that, as Samet Ozkan is now up into the 4th position, and Kat Batson has now jumped up into the top 5 in the 39 car. So Kat Batson doing a good job in terms of gaining track position via pit strategy here today. Virgil Alonso right now in the 6th position. Skylar Taylor, who, tell you what, if Skylar had started the season at Daytona, we could be talking about him up in that points lead conversation. In the first 3 starts he has made 2 finishes up inside of the top 10, and those 2 finishes have also been top 5s, including last week at Dover. Has been doing a tremendous job in that Costco Toyota. 8th position right now is Austin Reed. Good run for him here today after he didn't get the best of performances last week at Dover. Dropped to 7th in points, 35 points out. Former winner on the season. 9th position, another former winner in Benjamin Snyder, who took the checkered flag a couple of weeks ago at Armory Digital. Benjamin Snyder 9th in overall points, 37 points out, and he's about to lose that spot and fall back to 10th, as Nathan Stapleton, a fellow Blue Oval, will move on by and put his Powerade Fusion into the 9th position. Looks like the battle for the lead has evaporated a bit. Got a good battle for 3rd place. Samet Ozkan putting the pressure on Nathan Fogler for that spot, as race leader Cody Smart just hit the line for 20 laps to go. I am not certain what happened with the 45 of David Dixon. You guys will probably, if it was replay worthy, have seen it via the NSRA split cam, but David Dixon is right now running last car in the field, still on the lead lap, and he is about nearly 2.5 seconds behind his nearest competition, which is our pole sitter, Jack Mitchell. So a number of drivers did not get the pit stops they were looking for during this cycle, and Mitchell and Dixon, who were both inside of the top 10 when the green flag pit stops began, Dixon was actually up inside of the top 5, now find themselves at the very tail end of the field. We saw Sophia Simon was making her way up into the top 10 before the pit stop cycle, and she's all the way back in 15th place. Benny Watson has fallen back into the 11th spot, so yeah, a lot of drivers did not fare well on pit lane on that cycle green flag pit stops. Cody Smart, though, you talk about the season he has had, what a shot in the arm it would be for him to be able to take this checkered flag here today. He's obviously had the strongest car ever since getting up to the front. He's held off the advances of David Dixon and Roberto Crown Jr. He's got about a half a second between himself and the 21. The thing he's got to worry about now, though, is making absolutely 100% certain that he can get to the conclusion, because this isn't a super speedway, but being out there in front is obviously going to consume more fuel than if you're running behind somebody not 100% up to speed in terms of being able to put down Q lap times. And, of course, getting the benefit of draft. So Cody Smart has to make sure he does not throw this win away if indeed it is super close on fuel. Reminder tomorrow afternoon, the Duracell Next Gen driver is going to be at Iowa Speedway. Qualifying took place earlier on today. And we ended up seeing yet another different pole sitter on the season. Mitchell Collins going to be leading us to the green flag tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ford with back-to-back poles. Last week, Reese Banks had the pole at Dover, so the Blue Oval's looking pretty good as far as the speed that they've been bringing to the racetrack the last couple of weeks. Right now, they've got a driver out in front here in this Lights race at Kansas in Cody Smart as we watch the battle for 4th position between Nathan Fogler and Kat Batson. I believe that Ford has 2 wins on the season so far here in the Duracell Ultralight Series. There'll be Kyle Langland back at Devil's Bowl, and the most recent Ford winner was Benjamin Snyder a couple of weeks ago at the Super Speedway at Armory Digital. So Cody Smart trying to get Ford what would be their 3rd win on the season. Toyota currently sits at 4 victories, all 4 with Benny Watson and David Dixon, and then Chevrolet, they are currently at 4 victories, with Eric Monaco, Austin Reed, Roberto Crown Jr., and Virgil Alonso. So a tie for most wins between the Chevrolets and the Toyotas, and Cody Smart could get the Fords up into that conversation with win number 3, as this time by it'll be 12 laps to go. Again, the big concern, can they make it on fuel? Roberto Crown Jr. has not let Cody Smart get away. His pace has backed off a little bit here. He's been losing hundredths, but not tenths every lap. About 5 laps ago, he was about 4.5 seconds off. This time by, he's about 7 seconds off. So he's keeping the 17 within striking distance. I wonder if the 21 might be fuel saving a little, feeling that the 17's pushing it too hard and won't be able to reach the conclusion. Lap times for both of these drivers somewhere in the vicinity of about 5 to 7 tenths off their fastest laps. We ended up seeing at the end of the fuel run before the green flag pit stop cycle almost a second of fall off for most of the drivers in the field. David Oscon, after getting around Nathan Fogler, he's pulled away, holding on to that final podium position. Kat Batson just completed the pass around Nathan Fogler for 4th, and Austin Reed followed in line to break up into the top 5 for the first time today. Fogler has drifted back into 6th. Now under fire from Nathan Stapleton for that spot. Visibly, the gap is closing up there between the 21 and the 17. Does Roberto Crown Jr. feel that now is the time to go on the attack? We're at less than 10 to go. That time by 9 laps remaining. Correction, 8 laps remaining. Cody Smart. Where does his attention get drawn? Does it stay out the windshield to try and hit his marks, or is he keeping an eye on that rearview mirror, seeing if the 21 of Roberto Crown Jr. is going to be able to try and make a pass on him? Did I hear drivers on pit road there? I did not. Okay. I thought for a moment I might have heard some drivers that were on pit lane, and that would, of course, definitely throw into question any of these drivers being able to make it to the conclusion on fuel. Last time by about a little over 0.3 of a second. The gap from Smart back to Roberto Crown Jr. Looks like maybe it's opened up a tad here. Roberto Crown Jr. dropping back a little bit. We'll see what the interval was this time by between the 17 and the 21. Biggest problem right here for Roberto Crown Jr. is they're on fairly even footing as far as tires. Cody Smart with 1 lap fresher tires than the 21. And the fact that Cody Smart has the clean air to the nose, Roberto Crown Jr. having to deal with the aero tightness whenever he gets close to the back bumper of the 17. That last time by, Cody Smart lost 2 tenths. He's going to gain a 10th back this time by. But time is also of the essence, and it is running out fast. As next time by, they'll be at 5 to go. 4th place under contest, and it's a 4-car fight for that spot. Ladder positions inside of the top 5. Austin Reed looking to make the pass on Cat Batson. Batson going to have to lift there through the center of 3 and 4. Reed will clear for the spot. Nathan Fogler maybe going for a twofer there as Reed went up the track, and Fogler's going to keep his nose down low. Benny Watson right there, and how about the comeback by Eric Monaco? He's back up inside the top 10, right there behind the 75. This points lead battle will not go away between these two. And they're both looking now for top 10 finishes. Looks like the interval is increasing little by little here. Advantage Cody Smart, as it'll be 4 laps to go this time by. Roberto Crown Jr. needs the 17 to make a mistake, or he needs to hope that he's not going to be able to make it on fuel. If he can't make it on fuel, he's going to be about maybe 1 to 2 laps short. That's the only way I think Cody Smart ends up losing this race. And with how the pace is backed off a little bit here, that might actually help if he was short on fuel from him to be able to have saved enough, backing that pace down by the wearing of the tires. But Roberto Crown Jr. back on the attack again. He's closed it up by about 2 car lengths through 1 and 2. Really good center there through 1 and 2. A good run down the back straightaway. With 2.5 remaining, Roberto Crown Jr. on the attack, looking for his 2nd win on the season. Cody Smart trying to hold him off for his 1st. Less than 2 car lengths off of turn 4. Little lift there out of the 21. But he is there. If he can have another 1 and 2 like he did last lap, he's going to be on Cody Smart's back bumper here down the back straightaway. Looks like they both were about the same there through the first couple of corners. Maybe a little bit better on exit for Cody Smart. Let's see what Roberto Crown Jr. can do down here through 3 and 4. Closes up a tiny bit there off of 4. Got a bit of a run here down the front straightaway. Does he have enough to make a move into turn 1 as the white flag is in the air? 1 lap to go. Does Roberto Crown Jr. stay with him here and make a move in 3 and 4? Oh, look at the gap he closed up. He is there. He's going to step out here on the back straightaway. What can Cody Smart do? 21 dives to the inside. He's there. Can he keep his foot in the throttle? Tries to get alongside of Cody Smart. The two of them are going to be dead even coming off of turn 4. Who's going to have the advantage? Smart on the top. Roberto Crown Jr. on the bottom. It's Cody Smart on the outside line by about half a car length, who's going to win here today at Kansas in a thrilling photo finish. Roberto Crown Jr. almost timed it perfectly. He just couldn't get that momentum off of 4, and he's going to have to settle for 2nd to another first-time winner on the season, Cody Smart. Last of the drivers that have taken every green flag so far this season, finally breaks through to some good luck with a checkered flag. But the interval, according to scoring, was 29 one-thousandths of a second. What a thriller here this afternoon at the Kansas Speedway. I thought that maybe Roberto Crown Jr. was going to be able to push him up a bit there off of 4. The two of them looked like they got back to the throttle at the same time on corner exit. Must have just been that outside side draft advantage there for Cody Smart that was the difference maker. He almost lost this in the closing stages, and credit to Roberto Crown Jr. for saving his stuff to be able to mount that attack and have the grip to at least make it a fight there to the start-finish line in the closing stages of this one. Cody Smart will become the 8th different winner on the season, as he'll take the checkered flag here tonight. There you see it, 29 one-thousandths of a second. The gap between himself and Roberto Crown Jr., who almost got that 2nd victory on the year, but going to be a good points day for him. Driver that came in 10th in points. Samad Ozkan going to bring it home in 3rd. Nathan Fogler, who lost some spots there, gained them back and fought its way back up to 4th. And Nathan Stapleton is going to finish out the top 5. Eric Monaco, not to be denied. He and Benny Watson continue that battle for the points lead. He'll gain a couple of spots on Watson with a 6th-place run. Watson will finish in 8th, so that's going to be 2 points Watson has over Eric Monaco heading into our next race. Austin Reed right between the two of them there with a great run in 7th place. Kat Batson brought it home inside the top 10 in 9th, and Madeline Crenshaw, didn't talk much about her tonight. She's going to finish the day out with a top 10. Hergel Alonso was 11th, John Lightning Jr. 12th, Sophia Simon 13th, Aaron Macklin, Stephen Burnside with the top 15. Benjamin Snyder faded back late as he was looking like he was going to finish in the top 10, but he'll finish 16th. Skylar Taylor also had a good run going after the green flag pit stop cycles, but faded to 17th. Kyle Langland, who jumped up to 5th in points last week, is probably going to drop a couple of spots in standings. Super, super close from about 3rd place on down to the top 10 position. So Langland will probably lose some spots after 18th. Cole Coybe may lose some spots as well, finishing 19th. Jack Mitchell, who started this race from the pole position. Things did not go well on the green flag pit stop cycle for him, obviously. He finishes the day out in 20th. And David Dixon will finish in the 21st position after leading 8 laps today. Was looking like a driver that was more than likely going to be in the top 5 by the end of the afternoon. Not the case, 1 week removed from his 2nd victory of the season. Not the one he was looking for at all, as he's trying to make a push towards that points lead and subsequently the Duracell Ultra Lite Series Championship. But what a race here tonight. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come tomorrow when the Cup drivers will take the green flag at Iowa Speedway. But if you enjoyed this afternoon's race from Kansas, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, part of the crew today. We showed your full feature results, and you're now looking at your point standings heading into your next race. Bit of an off week here for these Duracell Cup Series drivers, and then they will be back at it. I believe that their next race is going to be about 3 weeks from now, when it will be the double header at the road course for the Lights and Cup Series drivers at Suzuka. So be sure to tune into that one. That's going to be a very interesting race weekend. But until then, thanks for tuning in to this Duracell Ultra Light Series race. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Cup Series at Iowa, as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.